Welcome to the Child Care Director's Chair, the podcast for bold educators who are ready to lead, grow, and shake things up in early childhood education. Whether you're a teacher eyeing that lead role, a lead stepping into leadership, or a center owner dreaming big, this is your space to grow with purpose and leave your mark. Hosted by heart-centered leadership coach Erica Saccoccio, each episode brings you real talk, actionable tools, and a contagious laugh or two, all designed to help you step into your next level with confidence. So pour your coffee, pop in those earbuds, and take your seat, because your leadership journey starts right now in the Child Care Director's Chair.
Hey guys, it's Erica here, and you are tuned in to the Child Care Director's Chair podcast. Let me just fix my mic there. So this is where we talk about the real work of being a child care director, the leadership, the pressure, the growth, and everything in between. We're continuing our whole leadership series based on McCormick Center's for Whole Leadership Framework. And today we're zooming into something that hits every director at some point, and it's why you feel overwhelmed, even when you're doing everything right. Because let's be honest, most directors aren't overwhelmed because they don't know what to do. They're overwhelmed because they're trying to lead without systems that actually support the work. And when you do that, it changes everything. Think about your last full day in your program. How much of it was actually planned leadership work? And how much of it was reacting? A call out, a parent issue, a staffing gap, a licensing question, a classroom interruption, a behavior incident, or a supply issue. By the time you look up, the day is gone and you're wondering what you actually accomplished. That feeling isn't failure, it's feedback. And today we're going to talk about what feedback is really telling you. The truth is, most leadership trainings don't say clearly enough that you're not overwhelmed because you're not incapable. You're overwhelmed because your role was never designed to be reactive all day long. Many directors are promoted because they were excellent teachers. But teaching and directing are two completely different leadership functions. One is execution and the other one is infrastructure. And that's where the breakdown happens. When you step into leadership without administrative systems in place, you don't become a leader, you become the system. And when you are the system, everything depends on you. And that's not leadership, that's survival mode with the title. In the whole leadership framework, administrative leadership is often misunderstood. It's not just paperwork, it's not just compliance, and it's certainly not just budgeting. Administrative leadership is the structure that holds your entire program together. It includes your enrollment systems, your staffing systems, communication systems, financial systems, scheduling systems, compliance systems, operational procedures. And here's the key. Administrative leadership is what determines whether your day runs you or if you run the day. Without it, everything is reactive. With it, everything becomes predictable. So let's name something real. Most directors don't lack effort. They lack the time to step back and build the systems. So instead of creating structure, they keep solving the same problems over and over and over again. The same staffing issue, the same parent confusion, the same communication breakdown, the same classroom coverage problem. And every time you solve it manually, you reinforce the cycle. Because your team learns, hey, we don't need a system, we have you. And that is the hidden cost of being the hero in your program. It feels helpful, but it actually creates dependency. And let me tell you, I learned this the hard way. So administrative leadership is that shift. What do I do right now to a system and what that system should look like and why it should exist so I don't have to keep doing this over and over? That one question changes everything. Because now you're not just managing problems. You're designing prevention. And prevention is what creates peace and leadership. Before we continue, I do want to take a quick moment to thank today's sponsor from Kinder Motion New England movement, which is one of the most powerful tools we have in early childhood education. not just for physical development, but for brain development, regulation, and engagement. And Kingdom Motion New England helps programs bring purposeful movement into classrooms in a way that supports learning, focus, and whole child development. Because when children move with intention, they learn with intention. And when teachers have tools that actually support engagement, everything in the classroom feels quite a bit more connected. So thank you to Kingdom Motion New England for supporting early childhood educators and sponsoring today's episode of the Child Care Directors Share podcast and the Early Education Empowerment Conference. Okay, guys, so let's get back into it. The real work of administrative leadership, and here's where the change happens. When you have strong leadership, you stop with the bottlenecking. You stop repeating the same fixes. You stop carrying every decision, and you stop living in constant reaction mode. Instead, your program starts to feel predictable, structured, supported, stable. And that stability is what allows everything else to grow. Your teaching improves, your culture improves, and your staff become more independent. Your stress, guess what? Decreases. Not because the work disappears, but because there is finally a system in place that starts doing its job. So in closing thoughts, here's what I want to leave you with. What is one problem in your program that keeps repeating itself? Now ask yourself, is this actually a leadership problem? Or is it a systems problem? Because if you keep solving the same issue over and over again, it's not a problem you're solving. It's a system that you're missing. And administrative leadership is where that change begins. Not by doing more, but by building better. So, coming up tomorrow on the Child Care Directors Share podcast, we're going to dig in a little deeper to numbers and what every director needs to understand and why avoiding them is one of the number one biggest leadership gaps in our field. Because leadership isn't just emotional, it is operational. And the numbers, well, they tell the truth. If this episode spoke to you, send it to another director who feels like they're carrying way too much right now. And if you're growing with us through the whole leadership series, I'd love for you to leave us a review on the Apple Podcast or whatever your favorite listening platform is. That really does help us reach more leaders every single day. And if you want to go deeper into leadership development, coaching, and community, come join us inside the Child Care Directors Share membership group. We're building stronger leaders one day at a time. Thank you again for spending part of your day with me and your daily Child Care Directors Share podcast.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Child Care Directors Chair, where we believe leaders aren't born, they're grown. If something sparked for you today, share it, shout it out, or pass it along to the next bold changemaker in childcare. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and stay connected with Erica Saccoccio for more real talk leadership tools and a whole lot of inspiration. Until next time, lead with heart, grow with fire, and always remember, the chair is yours. Now own it.